4.5 billion years in the making. But it would have gone faster with
Microjig, maker of the gripper. Work safer, work smarter.
I went through my scrap bin and pulled out a bunch of scrap pieces of 1/2-inch plywood for this project. And since this is a painted project, I don't have to worry about the grain direction or the color of the plywood matching. The main challenge to this project is that every piece is a different size. I'm gonna start by making a bunch of rectangles. You can cut these out using any kind of saw you happen to have. A circular saw, a jigsaw, a bandsaw, a table saw, or you can even use a handsaw. Nah. 5 of these pieces are squares. These are the shelves, and I'm gonna cut out the curves differently than I'm gonna cut out the curves on the rectangles. The curve on each of the square shelves is just 1/4 of a circle. To draw the circle, I'll find the center of the square by connecting the diagonals. The distance from the center of the square to the edge is the radius of the circle I'm gonna draw, and I'm setting that using my beam compass. Cutting corners is easy with a jigsaw. Or a bandsaw, or even a coping saw that I would hold like this if I had one. And there's all kinds of different ways to sand these curves smooth. But actually, when it comes down to it, most people just prefer using hand sandpaper and a little bit of elbow grease. Okay, I just totally made that up. One corner of each of the upright vertical pieces gets a 1-inch radius. I'm gonna join all of my shelves together using my pocket hole jig. I'm not really sure how to clamp this down while I put the screws in, so I've just put a board on top of the shelf so that I can push this up against it and hold it in place. I'll see if that works. I'm just trying to be super careful that I don't go so far that it comes through the other side. Those pocket screws will be hidden because this side goes against the wall. It's turning out really handy to have my plans available while I'm trying to put this all together so I can kind of visualize how it fits together. And I really should have looked at those a little closer because this next shelf goes on like this, and if I'd really thought that through, I would have drilled those holes at the same time as these holes. But I guess it doesn't really matter. Looks like I'm gonna have to kind of make up this clamping strategy as I go along, but it looks like if I just lay this on its side, I can clamp this together to put the screws in. And really, that's the only tricky part about using pocket screws, is that you've got to clamp your pieces together to hold them in place while you put the screws in, or they'll just slide around. And I'm only putting these in until I feel a little bit of resistance, because they will go all the way through if I'm not careful. Now I can just start working my way up. That was kind of tricky. After letting that sit overnight, it's surprisingly strong. Of course, you could certainly make those joints as complicated as you like. I'd like to thank Audible.com for supporting this week's episode of Woodworking for Mere Mortals, and I've got a great book recommendation for you this month, Without Their Permission, How the 21st Century Will Be Made, Not Managed. It's written by Alexis Ohanian, who was one of the co-founders of Reddit.com, which I will be doing an AMA on next month. The book is really inspirational for all of us who have a need to create things but are somehow stuck in the mindset of the 20th century of needing to ask permission from the establishment to do it. And Reddit is a perfect example of how two guys in college were able to put something online that had value to a lot of people. Without their permission is just one of over 150,000 audiobooks available at audible.com, and I'd like for you to pick out any one of them free just by going to audible.com/woodworking. And by supporting audible.com, you're also supporting Woodworking for Mere Mortals and helping me to keep these videos free for you. I want to thank you all for watching this week's episode of Woodworking for Mere Mortals, and I especially want to thank my subbable subscribers who often get to see these videos a day early and without ads. If you'd like to make your own corner shelves, check in the description for a free set of plans. And if this is your first time here, please consider subscribing to my channel. It only takes one click, and I have brand new woodworking videos every Friday. And if this is your first time here, you picked a really good time to find Woodworking for Mere Mortals. You absolutely don't want to miss next week's video, which will be one of my most requested projects.